Tranzit, being the launch map of Black Ops 2, was made one of the more played maps. Even though it is largely considered one of the worst maps ever made by the community, Tranzit is literally the biggest meme in COD Zombies history. Some say that it's so bad that it's actually fun. It's so bad that it's chaotic. And a lot of people will associate chaotic with fun. Gives you a lot to do, people are running around screaming, fuckfest. But it wasn't always like this back in 2012. People liked it for the most part. It wasn't until bigger creators like The Smith Plays said otherwise. A lot of people actually hadn't really been playing Tranzit at the time. They kind of just hopped on the bandwagon and started making fun of it, despite never playing the map. Just hated it blindly. Major problem with Tranzit that I have is that it's really not that fun by yourself. What I mean by that is you need people with you. Really, you need friends, people you can actually talk to. Otherwise, the map is actually ass. Most maps are genuinely tolerable. Some of them amazing by yourself. Some of them really just better by yourself. But Tranzit, not really one of those maps. A good map, you know, that's probably the best by yourself, is Shadows of Evil. There's so much to do that it's kind of hard to keep track when everybody's running around turning on shit, and it just becomes a problem. Today, I'm going to give you all the reasons why Tranzit is not as bad as it's made out to be, but the hate is definitely deserved. So welcome to the first analysis. I think I picked a pretty good map to start out with these. I did a couple on the Untitled channel. Those are still up. You can go check them out. I'll link them in the description. Those are god-awful, so abysmal. So when you watch them, you know, they're pretty short too. Don't expect much from them. It's probably best to stick with what you're going to start getting on this channel. This is going to take me a while to get through all of the maps because they're all their own individual videos. And I'll be going in depth, 10-minute videos. But I'm genuinely excited for them. I think these are going to be cool. I'm not going to promise a schedule for these. These are just going to come out when I'm able to get them out. Again, I'm working on Lobby, my game. I'm working on that with a friend, Philip, One Shot. He'll be in the description. So will the channel for that. So sub up on that channel. Because when I release the soundtrack and the trailer and everything, y'all are going to want to see it. But yeah, without further ado, without me stalling more, let's actually get into the Tranzit analysis. Completing the Easter egg in Black Ops 1, you see the rockets detonate on Earth, which is why Tranzit looks the way it does. It explains the lava with the shift in the tectonic plates, and it also explains the fog, denizens, all the other weird shit was put into the game. Though most of this, which I will get into later, was only put in the game to slow down the player due to console limitations. First, let's get through the story. All the previous mentioned flaws, as they will be called later on, creates this post-apocalyptic wasteland, and this is where the Victus crew would actually meet. But yeah, they are one of my favorite crews. I really genuinely like the characters. Speaking of characters, let's list them. First, we have Abigail Briarton. Most people call her Misty. We have Marlton Johnson, Samuel Stuhlinger, and Russman. That's all anybody knows. Fuck it. And Russman. Each of these members have their own backstories, but I think Stuhlinger probably has the weirdest. With him being in a flesh-eating cult, that's why he's able to speak to Richtofen. Not joking, that is real. Actual written lore. Like I said, he ate the flesh. Now he's able to speak to Richtofen via the ether. They have one of two common goals: help Maxis in his quest, or help Richtofen in his. All of the Victus maps have 2 Easter eggs, and depending on which side you go for, that will determine if you're able to actually unlock the super Easter egg. I did a video on that. Check that out. I did that with a group of guys. At the time, it was randoms, but now we kind of talk. We're trying to figure out people have lives and shit. I want to do more videos. It's just kind of hard to. Here's what I'm trying to say. This would actually be the first multiple choice Easter egg. Something new to the player. Something we had never experienced before. It was the same for Die Rise and Buried, and like I said, all of the Victus maps. Tranzit Easter egg was actually pretty short when we did it, but it does require 4 players, which is something I hate when an Easter egg requires 4 players. I really think that's dumb, but at the time, for story and lore purposes, you had to have all 4. Now, Tranzit's nowhere near my favorite map. Shadows of Evil is, and because of that, I got some things to say that I really don't like about Tranzit. Let's start with Pack-a-Punch. It's awful. Pack-a-Punch is horrific. You have to, hear me out, put a turbine by that thing in the power station and pray to God a fucking zombie doesn't break it, that by the time you get to town, miles away, it should be open. If it's not, then you got to repeat the fucking process. You got to go all the way back to the bus depot, get a new turbine, go to the power station. You just got to keep looping it until it fucking works. Literally the fucking worst Pack-a-Punch system I've ever seen. I don't know what they were thinking. Easter egg was like kind of boring. I actually didn't do a whole lot during the Easter egg.
Nope, this map a doo-doo. How could you say such a vile thing? Because I'm a realist? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've seen babies die from fentanyl. How real can you get in that?
Damn, son.
You don't get
Is that going in the video?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no, so I'm gonna go and grab that then.
Oh my god.
Oh, you couldn't make it over the lava
Fuck
pit.
the lava patch. Fuck the lava patch. It just seemed it was more like if you knew what you were doing, you were going to be doing all the stuff. I kind of ran, grabbed one part, and then I just kind of ran around for the rest of the Easter egg. Kind of boring. I really didn't like the Easter egg, actually, that much. We did all the BO3 Easter eggs. I actually liked all of those, except for Gorod. Fuck that map. I hate everything about that goddamn map. But yeah, when we did those ones, they actually weren't that bad. I actually genuinely liked them, but a lot of the older Easter eggs, you know, really, I wouldn't call it Easter eggs. I would say running around and doing random shit. I don't really hold Easter eggs against a map just because I'm not the kind of guy to go through and do Easter eggs. That's why I'm doing that series, because I don't do Easter eggs. But if you are a person who likes doing Easter eggs every single time you play, Tranzit's not the map that's going to come to mind. You're probably going to be going for something on BO3 realistically. But most of Transit, I don't mind. You know, it makes sense why the denizens are there. I don't... What kind of animal is the denizen? I have no... Are they like monkeys or... like, what fucking animal are they? I will say, though, the denizens are very annoying. Actually, so fuck... I take back what I said. I hate the fucking denizens. The fog, though... Not that bad. I really don't think people should be complaining about that. The lava makes sense. It's kind of annoying to hear people complain about them. If you take out a lot of what makes Transit bad, it would never be Transit. It wouldn't be Transit. Like if they did a remaster, they took out the fog, lava, like all these other things, it would no longer be Transit. Would that be good or bad? We'll have to wait and see. The bus, unfortunately, you know, it was supposed to be the safe haven, and unfortunately it's not. It's probably worse than actually just being outside. You're cornered, not really anywhere to go. You either take the dangerous route on the bus, which is faster, or you take the slower but safer route on foot. I do want Transit remastered, but keep most of what's in there, except Pack. You know, Pack, if anything, if you're gonna change anything, fix Pack-a-Punch. Like, dear fucking god. I guess while we are on the topic, or past the topic at this point, of denizens, let me mention their features. They let you teleport. That's pretty good for a map that big, but the teleporters are pretty inconsistent. They're kind of annoying to get. You have to get a denizen on top of you and keep it on you without fucking dying, and get to the teleporter, place turbine down. It's just kind of annoying. As I'm going through this, I'm starting to realize everything about Transit is kind of annoying. One thing I forgot to mention actually is if you repair enough boards on the bus windows, they will turn from wood to metal. Take longer for the zombies to tear down. It makes, you know, the bus a little bit safer, especially if you have the bus like pimped all the way out, got all the accessories on it, then it's going to be a little bit safer, but at the end of the day, you're probably just better off on foot. Now, let's start with the setup process. On a bus depot with a couple barriers, buildables, quick revive, and Ted outside the fucking door, honking his goddamn horn until you finally decide to leave. You either buy the door for $750 or just build the turbine. Nobody buys that fucking door unless it's your first time playing the map. To get out of there, there's a B23 on the bus, and it kind of just repeats every location. There's a perk, a gun, or some wall by some sort, like Galva Knuckles on top of the diner. And each location kind of does get a little bit harder, except for Town. Town doesn't have a gun. I guess the only gun it would have would be the jet gun if you decide to fucking build that piece of shit. I also have a video on that, building it for the first time. If you want to go watch that. Plug after fucking plug. Sorry. Jesus, sorry guys. Turn on power, that releases Avogadro, and now he becomes a boss zombie, which you can only kill with melee weapons. I actually kind of like him as a boss zombie. I think he's pretty interesting. You don't want to release him. You can actually use the turbine to open that door. The door, it's inside like the power room. There's a door, and you can use the turbine to open that, and that will allow you to not release Avogadro, which I like that. I like that. If you want, you can kind of just like keep like one perk, like you can like camp Jug and make sure you don't lose it, because you can use the turbine to power up other perks if you really don't want to deal with Avogadro. There's some buildable traps, but nobody ever does that shit. Really, nobody ever builds anything because it's all shitty. And amidst all of that, you're probably praying to God your turbine doesn't break, because then you got to go all the way to Bus Depot to get another one, which you kind of need for literally anything. And I hate how much you rely on the turbine. I actually kind of wish you could power up more things at once. But that's never going to change, so there's no point in wishing for it. Transit would have been built on next gen. This map would not have been as bad. People would not be saying this map was garbage. There was just so much they wanted to do, but the console limitations didn't allow them to do so. I could make a whole video talking about like stuff they didn't put into Transit. If y'all want that, I'd be more than happy to do that. I think that'd actually be a pretty cool video. For now, we're going to conclude the first map analysis. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This one was a little bit fee, I would say. You know, I haven't done this in a while. And so the quality will improve as more go on, more come out. And yeah, like I said, check out some of the videos in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.